I remember texting Steven. I was just like, man, we might be working with Janie Bryant. Can you believe that? And Steven was great. Just like, no way, like all caps, no way.
No, I got a no way.
Yeah,
Thank
no way. How are you doing today, Janie?
I'm doing great today. This
Awesome.
has been a great day.
It has been a great day. You got new awnings.
You know what? It's so funny. I totally forgot about that until you mentioned it. I can't wait to go outside and actually look at them.
Yeah.
New awnings.
I want to see them too before we go.
It's very dramatic. You're going to love it.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Dressing for Wellness, which is our podcast that you'll hopefully be a frequent flyer on.
I think I'm going to be.
Yeah.
I know. I'm so excited.
So big news. I guess we can just get the big news out of the way. And we're welcoming you to the Inherent Clothier brand. You're now a part owner.
I know. And I'm so excited about this. I'm trying to kind of contain myself because this is really a dream come true for me. I've been wanting to design a menswear collection since I started designing Mad Men, and I've been talking to my agents about this for, many, many years, probably since 2008. Wow. And, and one of the interesting things that we always talked about is, my agents said to me a lot, like, men don't want to buy clothes. And I would always say to them, no, men really do want to buy clothes, and they do really want to look great. And they just have to, get into that mindset more. Mm-hmm. I think that's a super important part of men dressing well is for men to really know their size, mm-hmm. and to, know sort of like the elements of dressing well too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just logistically too. I think it's when men start to feel more confident about themselves when they put like a suit on or anything like that makes them feel confident. Yeah. That kind of feeling is what we try and share with everyone. Because again, like I've said a few times on our podcast, is that we have the connection between feeling confident about yourself and being able to overcome mental health stigmas like depression, anxiety. It actually helps open the door to be able to conquer that kind of stuff. And it's so important. And that's what I really want to, with this brand, is really help men realize is one, it's really great to shop for yourself. It's fun. It's cool. And you can learn style from anywhere. And once you make the decision to dress better, you also will feel more confident about yourself, and you'll then be able to take that confidence and use it for a real change in your life.
Oh my God, that's so true. I mean, I see it every day just in working as a costume designer, and how amazing, the actors that I work with, when they understand how empowering just putting on a well-fitted suit makes them feel, and how they really want to learn about that, and how they just feel great about themselves, and how they feel handsome and empowered and strong and happier. And I mean, that's one of the things about my job that I love so much, is to have actors come into my fitting room and they're transformed.
Yeah.
And I love that part of my job.
Me too. That's one of my favorite things is.
Yeah, you have that. Your job is that too.
Yeah, sometimes. No, it's so fun. Like it's a physical transformation you can see, because especially when they put the jacket on, you can just see like the chest go up. You can see the chin like kind of get a little taller, and they're just pouring out confidence.
It's so true. See, the suit does make the man.
Yeah.
That's my saying.
The suit makes the man. Do you think that it's only suits that do that? Or?
No, I think that's a simplistic kind of saying, but it is amazing how just in that simple statement that so much more is involved in that. Mm-hmm. Like, physical confidence, but also that mental confidence that goes into dressing well, looking great, feeling great.
Yeah.
It's such a big part. I think people really don't even understand how empowering that is.
Yeah, it's so empowering, yeah.
It's so empowering, because like if you're dressing like a slob, I think you feel like a slob, and it doesn't help your mental state.
Yeah, it's definitely a form of self-care.
Yes, for sure.
That's not as, touched on, You have like get your hair done or moisturize your skin, things like that. But it's kind of funny that it's, with men specifically, I'd say, it's kind of like lower on the list of self-care than a lot of things when it should be a lot higher.
I know, that's so interesting. I was talking to you about my dad earlier and what a great dresser he was and how he loved dressing. He really was educated in dressing well, not because he was a dandy or anything. One of his big lessons to me was he always said, Janie, take pride in your appearance. Take pride in your appearance. And, that you can do if you have little money or a lot of money. And I think that is a big part in learning how to dress and learning how to dress well and learning how to wear a suit or like what pieces to wear for, different occasions. And it is old fashioned, maybe. I'm an old fashioned girl, and I do believe in those kind of old fashioned traditions too.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say that it's really unfortunate because the suit was taken away from like our generation, like millennials and the generation after us even. And it's so sad because they kind of took the suit away in the 70s and 80s as like a rebellion kind of thing, like to rebel against the man, Yeah. And now when you see someone with a suit, it's almost like they're rebelling against that system that's been in place now.
Oh, Lord, please, yes. Let's rebel against wearing T-shirt and sweatpants, right?
Yes, absolutely. And the funny thing is that it's, again, just nobody knows what it's like to be able to put a suit that's made for you or like a custom fitted suit or just a well-fitting suit and how much confidence that gives you.
I know. Well, that's one of the things I truly love about menswear is that, especially when you take a suit as your kind of like center piece, because those two pieces are always going to be the same, right? It's a jacket, it's a pair of pants.
Right.
But you can make that in like, there's no limit to how many combinations and colors that you can make those two pieces into. I mean, especially if you're dealing with, your brand here at Inherent Clothier.
Our brand.
Our brand. Okay, yes. That is very exciting. I know I have to get used to saying that, don't I?
Yeah.
But there's so many combinations, and you can really turn the suit into something that used to be in older generations like a formal thing into like, oh, this is just an everyday casual thing.
Yeah.
And you can make it formal by wearing a shirt and tie, or you can make it casual by wearing
like a t-shirt under
a suit, or a polo under a suit, or even jeans with your making a sport coat jean combination. I mean, I love menswear for that.
Yeah. What got you into menswear so much that like makes you love it so?
I think, I was thinking back on this. I really think it was because when I started to, design for movies and television, most of the cast were so male dominated. And I was working with men a lot, more so than, casts are usually made up of more men than they are women. So I was working with a lot of, male actors, more than female actors. And so when I got hired to design Deadwood, which is 1870s, I think that's when I really, really got into menswear, because that is, basically it's a different period, kind of like the Victorian period,
right? And
being able to mix all those different combinations and textures for all those different characters. I mean, I don't know if you ever saw the show, but Merrick, he was one of my favorite characters on the show, and he wore a black and white window pane. That was kind of like his signature sack coat suit. And I loved window panes. And so I was, designing a lot of suits for him that were window panes and plaids and mixing all of those different fabrics together. And so, I did that a lot on Deadwood, and also because it was 1870s, there's not a lot of genuine pieces from that time period that are around.
Still in existence. Yeah,
exactly. And so I basically had to design and build everything for that show.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And I had a swatcher who was in New York City. I was in Los Angeles, and I had her go around to all of the fabric stores in New York. I told her, like, okay, this is what I'm thinking. It's Victorian. I'm feeling, this color palette for this character and this color palette for the other character, and so on down the line for all the different characters. She went around and did a lot of like the swatching for a lot of the woolens.
Yeah.
And because, the woolens are kind of like less accessible to us in Los Angeles because it's such a warm climate.
Right.
So I really had to get like so many of my fabrics from New York.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you see a lot of people wearing suits around LA?
You know what? The guys wear a lot of sport coats.
Sport coats?
Yes. A lot of sports coats. I see a lot of sports coats, probably more than suits. Unless you go to, WME or CAA or an agency, and then the agents, they still, wear their suits.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I wish that more men wore suits here.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a man should wear a jacket everywhere.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
Well, it just looks so great.
It looks amazing. Yeah, and it makes you feel amazing.
It does, and I don't think guys know how appealing it is.
Ooh, yeah. That's true.
If let's just say a girl like me sees a man in a jacket, I'm like, yes, I like that guy.
That's great. So this is more of a warmer climate though. So what kind of, I guess this might be too technical, but like what would you like to see around here? Like, people wearing?
Well, I think linen sport coats I love, or linen suits I love.
Yeah.
I love cotton suits as well.
I love cotton suits.
Right?
Yeah.
I love cotton suits. I'm Southern, and I grew up with men always wearing cotton suits. Like, if it was summertime, you had to get your cotton suit, usually khaki.
Yep.
Still a classic.
Yep.
And then, you know what? Like some of the silk and wool blends are great too. And plus, I feel like wool is a year-round fabric as well.
Yeah.
Right? Because, especially like the lighter weight wools, they're really non-seasonal, I think. Especially LA, because, the temperature drops 20 degrees at night. So
yeah, that's a good point.
I feel like, those lightweight wools are great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess kind of to tell the story of how we met.
Yeah.
So I would love to hear it from your perspective as well, because, I'm just so excited to be working with you, and it's a dream come true for me as well. And it's just been so fun today. Yeah.
It's been great today. Well, it's been great since the very beginning, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I know it's such an amazing thing how the universe works.
Yeah.
And how really the stars are aligned sometimes, like you totally have that feeling of like, oh, this is such a natural, organic process. And I feel like that's how it really happened between us, because my agent, she had been, going through her emails as she does on a daily basis. And she was looking at different collections because PR firms send her different collections of different designers, fashion designers. And so she saw your menswear collection, and she knows that I'm obsessed with menswear. And so she clicked on it. She's like, I'm going to take a look at this menswear collection and see what they got.
Yeah.
So she was looking at your website and kind of the PR email.
Yeah.
And she noticed your name,
Yeah.
Taylor Draper. And she had written to me and she said, "Oh, Janie, do you know this brand? Because you could do a Don Draper suit." Or she said something like, maybe they have a Don Draper suit and you could, do like speak to the brand, or, we always come up with different ideas how to work with people. And so I wrote back to her and I said, or maybe I could design a collection with them.
Oh, man.
And we should have, the Draper suit, or, just going off of like that whole Mad Men thing, and your last name is Draper.
Yeah.
So Linda said, well, I'm going to reach out. Linda, who's my agent, Linda Kearns. So I'm going to reach out to the brand and see, how they're open to doing collaborations or kind of what's going on with the company.
Yeah.
And so that's how we all got connected.
Yeah.
And y'all, said, oh, well, we'd love to.
Yeah.
Meet Janie, talk with Janie, and then that's how we started talking.
Yeah, it happened so quickly. I remember I remember it pretty specifically because I was watching the original Ocean's 11 with Frank Sinatra with my wife at night.
Very inspirational.
So inspirational. And I just get bombarded with text messages from the team that's just like, hey, we just talked to Linda Kearns. Like, would you be interested in working with Janie? And I was like, yes, absolutely. And so I was so excited. I remember texting Steven. I was just like, man, we might be working with Janie Bryant. Can you believe that? and Steven was great. Just like, no way, like all caps, no way.
No, I got a no way.
Yeah.
Thank
no way.
Oh my goodness.
So I was so excited.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
But y'all said, let's do something. I wrote to Linda, no way. This is so exciting.
That's amazing. Oh, man. And then, we got on the phone call, and I had no idea what to expect. I I'm very kind of laid back and just very mellow. So, I don't get, outwardly very, overly excited. But I was really excited to meet you. And when we started talking and I could tell just how nice and kind you were, I just immediately was like, we have to figure out a way to work together, because it just was great energy on that first phone call. Yeah,
it really was. And I remember our first phone call because I felt like, another thing that we have in common is great mental health. Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, maybe mine kind of comes from a different place where I truly believe that enlightenment and joyfulness is optimal to live a great life. Right. So how do you kind of get to that place? You get to that place through great mental health. Right. Mm-hmm. And also we have the whole manners and gentlemanliness that we have in common. Let's just say I love the practice of good manners, and men being gentlemen and women being ladies. So I know another old fashioned thing. I can't help it. It's in my blood. It pours out of me. My old fashionedness.
No, I love it. That's great.
But it's very modern too.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, no, that's so great. So what made you want to really work with us after you kind of learned our brand story and everything? What made you be like, I want to do more than just a collection?
Well, because first of all, I love the collection. I love what you're doing. And I felt like menswear really does need an update, and did need an update. There's a great space for that. And I feel like the brand is super modern, and it's a great kind of new interpretation of the suit, and how younger generations can learn how to wear men's clothing that fits them properly, that looks great, that's modern, that's hip, that is, but still in that traditional sense of men's proper dressing.
Yeah, thank you. I really try to root all of our designs into the proper way of doing it, and not like overly modernized things that we get nowadays that are a little weird.
I know. Well, I mean, that's another thing about menswear that I love is that it is classic. And it's not only like classic in design, it's also classic and traditional in the way of making menswear too.
Yeah, the history, right?
The history,
Yeah.
the tailoring. I mean, these are skills that people have had for a very long time. And I think that just the traditions of making menswear and suiting is, it's so important to have like that great tailoring. Yeah. And I mean, I love the way that your suits fit. I love the way they're constructed. I love the details. I also think that like there are great design details to the suits as well that make it like even more modern, right? So, so I feel like, menswear definitely needs that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great.
So just like as you and I have been talking about the collection, it is very classic and it's also very modern and has, I think, like a unique, not only story, but also inspiration to the collection.
Yeah. And just to give some context too, we designed an entire collection today.
We did.
And it's going to be called the Bryant Draper Capsule Collection, meaning that what we wanted to achieve with this collection is that if you have 0 things in your closet, this would be an entire wardrobe if you got the whole collection. And you'd be able to mix and match pieces, and it's pretty much everything you need, I'd say.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So we're really excited to announce that, and that should be coming out in November. And it's an amazing. Yeah, do you want to talk about it all?
Well, it's interesting because I feel like with the color palette, as we were talking about earlier, I love that it is super manly and it's kind of rooted in this earthiness with like these very rich browns, very rich greens mixed with kind of like the taupes and the beautiful blues because I love men in blue. And also pinstripes. So like there's so many elements in the collection, in the first collection that I'm so passionate about. Oh, and there's a window pane too. We have like all the good stuff in here.
Yeah.
And also that rounded club collar on the shirting.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of kind of like vintage inspirations that I feel like we really have like such a cohesive collection with all of those like beautiful details.
Yep.
So it's so fun. Yeah. And the formal wear is great too. And I feel like a modern interpretation for formal wear is to be able to wear your dinner jacket with a pair of jeans or wear it with your tuxedo pants or just to be able to, like, you were saying, mix and match. Yeah.
So I'm so excited about this collection because it has it all. It has formal wear. It has great shirts. It has basically all season suits, multiple season suits. And again, the best thing that you can do is mix all of them together and they still look incredible.
Well, that was really, I took your lead from that because that's something that you had talked about in the beginning that you had wanted the collection to be about. And I loved that idea.
Yeah, thank you. I'm all about just less is more. So the more quality pieces that we can have as a brand, and just the less kind of options, but still have it be super versatile and so many outfits out of those options is like always a better way to go because I think it just brings more to our customers and clients, and it also just shows how much we care with the quality of what we're doing.
Yes, and I can't wait to see them built.
Yeah, me either.
we're at the fabric swatch stage, so I can't wait to see when they're actually made into the suits and shirts and vests.
Yeah, me too. And
It's so exciting.
And I'm so excited to be able to talk about it now too, because we've had to kind of keep things under wraps for a while.
Yeah.
So Steven and I flew into San Diego to meet with we have a few marketing members here to meet with them. And then now we're currently in your home. Thank you for having us, by the way.
I'm so glad y'all are here.
And then we drove to LA from San Diego to really just design this collection. Like, we put aside a day. We've obviously been on the phone multiple times and email, going through inspiration, kind of what we wanted to do. And we got that pretty much prepared coming into this meeting. And then, and here we are. We designed an entire collection today.
I know, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's so fun.
I know, we were talking earlier about just like that feeling of satisfaction that you get after, you design something and then it comes back in this 3-dimensional piece.
Yeah.
And there's such a great feeling of that, especially when, it's just everything you could have imagined and it's so beautiful. I feel like every single piece is going to be like that.
Yeah, me too.
I can't wait to wear one.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to wear it either. It's going to be great. Man. Well, thanks again. Do you want to kind of tell us how you got into costume design?
Yeah, I studied fashion design. I got my degree in fashion design and I moved to Paris for a little bit. And because I said to myself, I'm going to be a famous fashion designer and learn how to speak French in 6 months.
Wow.
And that, my friend, is what you believe when you're just right out of college. Some college students have the attitude of like, I'm never going to get a job. No, my attitude was, I'm going to be a famous fashion designer and learn how to speak French in 6 months. Well, that did not happen, either one of those things, but that's okay. I still got to spend 4 months in France.
Wow.
And I went to the museums every day and I was truly inspired. And I went out with this very dashing man that would always wear like double corduroy
Ooh.
sport coat and corduroy pants.
Very cool.
Not matching, different colors, with like a gorgeous scarf. And he was so beautifully French. And anyway, we had lots of romantic lunches and we would go to the museum, and he was an art dealer. So we were always going to art shows. And I loved that time. It was so fun and inspirational, even though, my father said to me, Janie, you need to come home and get a job because I'm not paying for you anymore. Girl's worst words to hear. Anyway, so I came, you'll see, your daughter will grow up and you'll have to say this to her.
I know.
So anyway, I went to New York and I got a job with a fashion designer, and I worked on 7th Avenue for about 9 months. And during this time I had met a lot of people who were in the film business. And I was at a Christmas party where a lot of film people where they were invited to, because I just kind of like was starting to hang out with a lot of the film crowd in New York. And so I met this costume designer at a Christmas party, and we just talked for so long. And I knew that I had to be a costume designer because as a child, my mom always took me to see old movies. We always saw old movies, and I loved old movies, and I loved seeing the costumes dance across the screen. And I really didn't understand there was a costume designer doing all that work, right? Mm-hmm. But after I talked to this costume designer at this party, I just knew that that's what my path was going to be. So I started calling every single person that I knew in the film business the next day. And finally I got a phone call back, and somebody wanted to bring me on to a film as an assistant costume designer. And so cool. I did that, and I really never looked back. I just kept on doing it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yes. I mean, I guess naivete was my friend.
I don't know if it's naivety, it's confidence, and I love it.
I don't know if I was so confident. I just did it. I had no experience. I just thought, well, this is what I want to do. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, but you were confident in what you wanted and your abilities, I assume.
I probably had no abilities except for the fact that I could draw, I could sew,
Yeah.
I could design. But I'm just saying, like, I didn't have abilities in even knowing what it was like to be on a film set, or kind of like the nuances of being in the film business. I knew nothing. So, I mean, I think it was just like that leap of faith that I wanted to do that. And
Yeah.
I knew I could, and nobody was going to tell me no.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really cool.
I mean, you have that same experience with opening the business too. Like, I think that you really felt that. You felt that passion, you felt that dream when it was time for you to like make a career change, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that dreams are so important. I mean, without your dreams, it's like death, right?
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very well said. Yeah, it was really interesting for me because I really loved menswear. And when I realized that it helped me through a really dark time in my life is when I kind of started realizing this is what I needed to do with my life, is have this business. And it kind of felt like everything up to this point has really led me here, because I had lots of experience in business before this, which is really helping me now. And just knowing how it can really help your mental health as men, and one, just knowing that there's no education, there's no people like really talking a lot about it, unless you're already into the menswear scene, then of course you'll find some, but just in general, nobody's talking about how to style yourself and like how well that makes you feel, and then how you can overcome things with those feelings. And when I saw that kind of happen in my own life, it just, all the dots kind of connected for everything else. And for me since then, it's just been the best time. It's been stressful, but it's been so fun. Starting this brand and getting to meet you and working with you now. And it's just been really a wild ride.
I know, it's really exciting. I think that is one of the things why I felt like, yes, Taylor and I could work together, because I feel that the energy and the joy of like, and the love that's put into the brand, and how I feel like when you do things that you love, everything does kind of like fall into place, right? Mm-hmm. You just like bring more of that along with you. It's like the cart you got in the back of the car. It just keeps on like piling up of like good stuff, if you're bringing all that good stuff to the table, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, one of the questions we had that I didn't ask you yet was, what's the most... Yeah. What's the most valuable piece of advice someone has given you in your career?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard one. You know, it's so funny because I really didn't have any mentors. Because
Me neither, by the way. So that's funny.
I know, really?
Yeah.
I know, it's kind of like a weird thing, right? I mean, I had people that I looked up to in terms of design work that they had done, films they had designed, but like didn't know these costume designers, you know, or even like fashion designers. I mean, I always looked to Christian Lacroix. He was my favorite fashion designer. And but I remember on this music video that I was doing in New York, I can't remember the name of the band, but I remember this director said to me, he was like, just believe in your choices, believe in yourself. And like at the time that he said that to me, I didn't even know that I was kind of like doubting myself. But for whatever reason, he saw talent, and he also saw me doubting myself. And, I had just started my career in costume design. So I'm sure I had, lots of moments of doubting myself just because of lack of experience,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of pressure and a lot of egos and a lot of kind of puzzle pieces all the time that you're juggling.
Yeah.
But I was actually thinking about that director a couple of months ago, because I was thinking, oh, that was such an important thing for him to say to me. And kind of you don't even know what that means. I didn't really understand what he was saying at the time. And when I reflected back on that years later, I understand that more.
Yeah.
Because I think once you have experience and you do gain the confidence and self-awareness, that message is so important to understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel being yourself and having confidence and faith in yourself is the most magical thing that you can do.
Yeah, that's great. Great story. Definitely follow along with us
Yes,
on social
follow
media
us.
and website to see the collection we're working on and everything else.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait to get that first green double-breasted suit in. I think the guys are really going to love that.
Yeah.
It's not bright green. Don't let me scare anybody. It's very
It's more emerald. Yeah. It's very deep.
dark,
Yeah.
deep, rich, manly.
So great.
All of my favorite things.
Yeah. It's so great.
Yeah, I'm just excited for the pieces to come back and we get to present them to the world. I think, for me, truly, again, a dream come true, and it's so exciting. It's all happening, right?
Yeah. I'm so excited too. I'm so excited to have you on the board or on the brand. And thanks for being here. Thanks for saying yes and working with me and taking a chance on us.
My pleasure.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, leave us a comment down in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you next time.